Hello, my lovelies. How are you all doing today? It's great to see you back. Today, we are going to be looking at another phase of the period 9 that is just about ready to come um, kind of rolling in. We're really at a really nice point in time where we have an opportunity to get ready for this big seismic shift. So, if you are new to me, hello, my name is Kathleen Horvath. I'm a business feng shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the Time Blazer business management system. And the purpose of this particular series is we are in the process of getting ready for a class that I'm teaching next week, which is creating a personalized compass style that will help you throughout the next 20 years. So if you're someone who is planning on moving, renovating, leasing a new office space, or even staying right where you're at, you want to know where the PowerPoints are that are personalized to you. So, okay, let's get started on where we've been and where we're going. So, first of all, we started out on day one. We were looking at the astrology, and I was talking about some of the animals that were really benefiting you. But I also want you to understand that there are actually quite a few animals that can be most beneficial. But if you happen to have an animal that isn't as beneficial as you'd like, there's always companion animals. So we're always going to get you to one of the best spots of a particular area. Now, I am talking about more of a long-term feng shui when I talk about all of this particular series. And so I do want you to understand that every year you're still going to have to overlay those annual energies. And when you're going to find times when, oh my gosh, your long term and the short term are fantastic, then you want to just go like the wind, right? Okay, then we talked about the feng shui, how to become I'm giving you some pointers already. We were talking especially about the South sector, but there's many other sectors as well as your personal power number. Where is that located on the dial, on the compass dial, so that you can also capitalize on that as well. Today we're going to talk Time Blazer. All right, so the first thing that when we're talking about the Time Blazer, I want you to understand that the Time Blazer is a system that I'm very proud of, but it is a business management system where you are taking the right action at the right time. So it really is important to understand that I'm talking about a timing piece, not necessarily the Time Blazer, but I will be giving you some great Time Blazer dates during the class, because there's a couple of pre-activations that we can do for period 9. And we'll find those out next week. And these are all time sensitive. So when they happen, you either are going to make the time to make them happen, or you would end up missing out. There's always chances to catch up, but when there's some vibrant moments in time, you don't want to be sleeping at the wheel on that one. Okay. All right. Well, we talked about the cosmic trinity: person on the first day, feng shui on the next. And really, this is a complete model when you are looking at the classical feng shui model. We're going to integrate one more model tomorrow, which is called Universal Gateway. But for today, we are going to talk about the timing piece. I thought it would be interesting for you to see what we're actually up against, if you will. So in classical feng shui, we have 9 different periods, and we are entering very, very soon period 9 that's officially going to begin in 2024. But here's the thing: as I have been speaking over the last couple of days, we have a great opportunity with the timing of the water rabbit. We are currently in the year of the water rabbit. And then we're also going to be looking at what we're going to be going into. So currently, as you can see, we are in period 8. And if you look back to seeing when these periods started, and some of the timing behind it, it's going to be pretty interesting on what you're going to see happening in over time. Okay. All right. So period 8, which we're currently in, is an earth energy. Now, in earth energy, all the elements are great, but you just need to know how to use them. But period 8 was very much about, on the positive side, nurturing, stability, but it is also about, Earth is considered, if you will, the graveyards, if you will. It's underneath the ground, and it's also about being stagnant. It's also about being very stubborn, but it's also kind of an old order. It's slow, it's methodical, things take time, and we are now, here's the opportunity of us pulling away and releasing that earth energy. And what I mean by that is any particular issue, problem, challenge that you might be facing at this particular time, instead of sticking your head in the ground and hoping that it will go away, that's really going to collapse you if you're not willing to let go of things that are no longer working. And it's not comfortable, it's not fun, but it's the work that we all need to do, right? So if there's any cleanup you need to do with relationships, do you need to forgive anyone, including yourself? Are there things that are sort of antiquated? I mean, here's one thing that I can tell you about period 9 is that technology is moving at rapid speed, because we really actually already able to tap into period 9, but officially houses and your astrology chart and all of that officially update in 2024 for that 20-year period. So really, this is this classic, if you will, the phoenix rising from the ash. The ash is the earth. The earth, we're letting it just scorch out, burn out, release it, and don't carry on that baggage going into this next period. Again, it is your personal inventory that you're going to need to make for you to best benefit out of period 9. In period 9, things are going to move very, very, very rapidly. And things are also going to burn out very rapidly as well, in the respect, if something is not working. Actually, one of my clients said she's learning to fail quicker. The greats have always done this, right? If you look at how many times inventors, people like Einstein and that, just continue to fail and fail until they came up with a wonderful breakthrough product. So what I thought it would be a little bit fun is for us to kind of look back in time, so you also have an idea of some of the things that were happening 180 years ago during period 9. So let's just start out with, it started out in 1884. And I'm not going to go through every single thing that happened, but here are just some highlights that are going to correlate to what is going to be happening in the next 20 years starting now. So in 1844, that's how far back we're going to go, to 1863, because that's the 20-year cycle. We had the Morse code. That was the first electronic telegram that went out, was in 1884. So just imagine today what technology, where we're at from ... and where we're at today with cell phones. We can see each other on phones. We can, these are literally little computers at this point. They're no longer a dial, and that's the only function that they have, right? Okay. So, but then there was a lot of things, especially there was a lot of transferring of borders, transferring of power. There was a lot of that going on too. In 1864, Oregon splits from England, which I didn't even know, truthfully, until I was researching this, how far west England had its foothold in the U.S. We also had from 1846 to 48, there was the U.S. Mexican War. So we're seeing lots of wars all over the world, right? In 1847, chloroform was used for the first time for an antiseptic. So can you imagine what they were using for? No wonder people died so early. They wouldn't even survive a surgery. And they didn't even start using antiseptics. They were just going from one body, not washing their hands or sanitizing and going to the and then we have this high death rate too, right? There were new religions that were forming. The Mormons arrived in Utah and started the new Mormon religion. We had the gold rush, so there's like new frontiers to be open. Now I don't know how many new frontiers we have on the U.S. On the planet Earth, but where are we going now? People are talking about, specifically Elon Musk and Sir Branson and all those other people, but specifically Elon Musk is talking about landing and starting living on the planet Mars. So we're going to start seeing these new frontiers being opened up. We also had a split between Hungary and Austria. This is where we had a big split between those two countries. And the innovation of 1849, if you can even imagine, was the safety pin. So, even thinking back in the times, I mean, now we're using Velcro for most things to keep it together. Safety pins are still out there, but when you start thinking about the times before that and how innovative and how much that made life easier for so many people. In 1860, President Abraham Lincoln was nominated. The Pony Express, so new types of transportation. What do you think is going to be happening in the next 20 years? You can bet for certain flying cars are going to be more of a norm, more of the driverless transportations. For those of you who are US based, when I was a kid, we had the cartoon, the animation called The Jetsons, where they had a lot of the innovations that we're using today. And I know for a fact, because I've worked on Silicon Valley campuses where they have already for 20 plus years been working on the technology of flying cars. So I am sure that's going to be happening as well. In 1861, we had the beginning of the Civil War. If any of you are from US, or I'm not sure how much of this hits the international market, but certainly looks like it from any certain day that the US might be heading for another civil war. We'll see how it all pans out, right? And then this was also the first year of income tax of 1861. And then in 1862, there are signs that are stirring with World War I. What's stirring right now? I've seen it flash on certain social media sites. Not that I'm following these sites, but they make headline news: World War III. So I think that is certainly going to be happening as well. And then towards the end of period 180 years ago, this was the first use of submarines in warfare, because it used to be, you'd get these two opposing factions, and they would fight it out. They would just charge each other, and kind of the first row would, the first first person would be going down. So it was now becoming a very different technological and innovative war because of some of the technology that was invented. And so now we, obviously see that there are cyber attacks that are happening and fraud and things like that. So as you can see, history does repeat itself. And these are the things that we definitely want to prepare for. So I'm going to go back to what are some of the positive things that we can prepare for. We know that period 9 is absolutely going to be about new and innovative ways for technology. So please keep your technical skills on the upswing. Really, for those who continue to say I'm not tech savvy, just eliminate it right now from your vocabulary. If you're watching this, you can do a Google search, right? So start learning. There's so many ways technologically that we can learn. You can do free YouTube things. You can go to Udemy. You can go to all different ways. You can hire a coach to teach you certain things, but really want to stay abreast of that. There were, as I stated, some innovations towards healthcare. Healthcare is going to be a very, very much needed sector going into period 9, especially when it comes from a perspective of mental wellness. So that is definitely a sector that you could either be in, or it could be your avatar, that there's somebody in that sector that you can help. Technology, like I said, is on the rise. And then metaphysics definitely is going to be on the rise. Spirituality, there's a lot of spirituality. This is the end, as you can see, after period 9 in 2043. In 2044, we start the cycle over again. That's why it is very, very important for those of us who are going to be around for all of period 9, is really to align yourself. Your life will go much easier and quicker, easier and more in the flow if you follow the energies. And that's what this class really is about, is teaching you what are your strengths in your astrology chart, what are the strengths in your feng shui of your space, which I told you yesterday. Feng shui is to help boost you up so that you are more vibrant to go after the things that you want. So this is a very important time in history. It's exciting, and as you can see, it can also be explosive. So what my goal, my true vision is to help as many people as I can align with the positive sides of period 9. There's enough of the other side out there. They don't need any help. What we need to do is we need to bring balance. That would be the yin and yang of what we need to create in period 9. So there's a lot of opportunities there, definitely to be had. And so what we want to do is get our homes, our offices, or any space that you might occupy, and get those aligned as quickly as possible. And as I said yesterday, in the water rabbit year, the rabbit is considered a pure wood animal. Some of the animals have 2 other elements hidden in them. Some of them have 3. Rabbit is considered a cardinal sign, so it is pure wood. And what does fire need? It needs fuel. So here's another tip that I want to give to all of you. If you have any health concerns, issues, please do not ignore them this year. You want to get as much strength and vibrancy as you can, so that you will be able to handle some of the fluctuations of period 9. Because remember, it's fire. Fire is moving very, very fast. When I want you to think of fire, I want you to think of a flame. And, you know, if you've ever seen a forest fire, or if you've ever seen a volcano, once that pressure builds, it just flows and it moves very, very rapidly. A forest fire can go from one, just by the blow of a wind, can move very, very rapidly somewhere else. Have short term projects going on along with your long term, but do them quick, get in, get out, and move on. So there you go. So that's what period 9 is going to be about. So I told you that I'm going to have a class coming up on the 18th of this month. That's next week. It's from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So check your local time if you're not on the East Coast. And here's what I want to say. What we're going to be doing during this class is we are going to be building. This is a hands-on class. I will be giving you additional information as well, but my goal is by the end of the day, you are going to have your personal dial. Excuse me, said that too fast and air hit the back of my throat. So what I want you to do is go to bit.ly/period 9. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about the Universal Gateway, and that's one of the last things that we are going to be doing is actually activating your dial with a Universal Gateway meditation. And there's people, we'll talk more about that tomorrow when we talk about the period 9. So in closing, really, it's the time is now to go ahead and sign up for the class. It's bit.ly/period 9 spelled out. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. If you liked what you heard and got value, please give me a like. That certainly helps with the algorithm. Subscribe and comment. And it would be so helpful for me if you would share this link. So we will see you tomorrow, and we'll be talking about Universal Gateway and the spiritual side, which is very much a part of period 9. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Until then, we'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks. Bye.